Hi dears, this is Pavitra and you're watching Pavi's Intellect. Before going into the topic, I'm feeling really humbled right now. There are 100 plus incredible people like you who have subscribed to my channel, that too for a single video. Wow! Thank you so much of those who have checked out my channel and welcome to those who is going to subscribe my channel and subject yourself. So let's begin. Before that, if you like my work, make sure you hit that big fat like button because it motivates me to make more videos. Many empires have risen and fallen through the ages of history. As we count down our picks for the top 10 world empires of all time. So, number 10, the Mayan Empire. Surviving from 2000 BC to 1500 AD, world's longest empire extending through Mexico to Guatemala, Belize and Honduras. This Mesoamerican civilization was famous for its art and architecture. The Mayan developed astronomy and calendrical system. So, what finally causes the downfall of this mysterious empire was war with Spanish conquest in the early 16th century. Number 9. The Qing Dynasty. The Qing Dynasty was the last dynasty of China ruled from 1644 to 1912 before being overthrown by the Republic of China. It's sometimes referred as the Manchu dynasty, governed by Manchus, who crossed the Great Wall and invaded China. China during this period was blessed with fortune and peace in part because of its impressive military strength. However, fall of Qing began to crumble in early 1900s. War with Japan and rebellions led to famine and poor economy. Finally, in 1911, Qing Empire gave up his throne and Republic of China took over. Number 8. The Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire existed from 300 AD to 1400 AD, is also called as Eastern Roman Empire. Primarily, Greek-speaking Byzantine Empire developed and became stronger on their own political systems, religious practices, art and architectures. Byzantine Empire was the longest-lasting medieval power and its influence continues even today. This Byzantine Empire survived for 1,000 more years. Finally, empire fell in 1453 after an Ottoman army stormed Constantinople and capital city. Number 7. The Achaemenid civilization. Some remember them from 300 BC, but history tells a different tale, better known as a Persian Empire, founded in 6th century BCE by Cyrus the Great in Western and Central Asia. The dynasty drew its name from Achaemenids, who from 705 to 675 BCE ruled Persis. The first Persian Empire under Cyrus the Great soon became the world's first superpower. It united under one government three important sites of early human civilization, that is Mesopotamian civilization, Egyptian civilization and India's Indus Valley civilization. Almost half the world population living under their banners. Number 6. The Egyptian Empire. The Egyptian Empire lasting from the 16th to 11th century BC. The new kingdom, Egypt, is the height of the civilization's power. Mystery surrounds its origins, its religions and its monuments, architectures, colossal temples and pyramids. Egyptian pyramids are the most famous of all the ancient monuments, where irrigation, mummification and cultural practices are also the lasting gifts to the richest empire. Number 5. The Ottoman Empire controlled much of southeastern Europe, Western Asia and northern Africa between 14th and early 20th centuries. Finally, after fighting on the side of Germany in World War I and suffered defeat, the empire was dismantled by treaty and came to an end in 1922. The reign of Suleiman was marked by great power, stability and wealth. Suleiman created a uniform system of law and welcomed different forms of arts and literatures. Number 4. The Macedonian Empire. Alexander the Great is a famous conqueror for a reason. Once he lived only until the age of 33, he marked out the world's largest empire, comprising the Persian Empire, Egypt and much more. Macedonia was a small kingdom started from the city Macedon. Finally, the empire spanned from Greece to Taxila, that is the present-day Pakistan. Alexander continued his overpowered enemies and defeated. However, his premature death crumbled and collapsed the empire. Number 3. The Mongol Empire. The Mongol Empire is founded by Genghis Khan and took power in 1206. It was the largest contiguous empire in the history and the second largest empire by landmass. It extended from the Pacific Ocean to Danube River and the Persian Gulf. The empire unified the nomadic Mongol and Turkic tribes. After Khan's death in 1294, the Mongol Empire fragmented. Number 2. The British Empire. Called the empire on which the sun never sets. This was the world's largest empire at its peak. Others say the start date should be the 1490s, while other historians date the empire from the early 1600s. The British Empire is a term used to describe all the places around the world that were once ruled by Britain. The end of the empire came in the year after World War II, with the most of the Britain colonies ruling themselves independently by the late 1960s. Even so, its legacy, introduced as English, is now the world's most widely spoken language. Number 1. The Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was one of the greatest and most influential civilizations in the world and lasted for over 1,000 years. Roman Empire is known for its prosperity and peace. This European civilization influenced on the development of language, religion, art, architecture, philosophy, laws, for beyond. The Roman Republic became the Roman Empire in 27 BCE when Julius Caesar's adopted son, best known as Augustus, became the sole ruler of Rome. But its staggering size eventually made the empire weak against the enemies, and in 476 AD, the western half collapsed, while the eastern half lost it until the fall of Constantinople in 1453. So that, quitting my chat. I will see you next Friday as like always. Thank you for watching.